Welcome back to another Trade Alts tutorial. This is number 5 in the Trading Bot series. I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's been watching this video, leaving me really nice comments, whether it be in Telegram, Discord, or in YouTube comment section. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I'm going to be sharing a really good video with you tonight. I'm going to be talking about an exchange that I recently came across and kind of did some more research on, and there's a lot of really awesome potential for trading bots. I'm going to talk about profit compounding, which people have asked me to do. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos. I want to expand on that for you tonight. And I also want to talk about the smart trade. So some people have asked me about the smart trade function on 3 commas. I will go over that in this video just for you. Let's get started. And as usual, here's a disclaimer. Please pause the video and read it entirely. All content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. No financial advice. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. And just a quick shout out to all you kind people out there who have been using these. For your 3 comma subscription, if you use the link in the description below, you get 10% off of your monthly fee. And also, if you pay in crypto, again, they're very nice and they send me a tiny bonus. I really appreciate that, obviously. And then the referral links for the exchanges that I will be talking about in this video and have talked about before. You can get, some trading fee discounts, which are very, very important when it comes to trading bots. And especially a little bit later in this video, when I get into trading fees, you're going to find out, again, why it pays big time to have that extra 5% or 10% trading fee discount. So definitely take advantage of that. And just a quick overview again of what we're going to be talking about in this video. So first of all, I'm going to go over FTX exchange. That is the exchange that I was talking about in the very beginning. There's some very advantageous reasons to use FTX, which I will go over, and I will kind of compare and help you understand like how it stacks up to Binance or Binance US, if those are the exchanges that you use. Then I'm going to cover the smart trade function. How can we use that in relation to our trading bots? How can we help that, if there's, certain particular instances or situations that come up that, the smart trade function can really be helpful to you. So I will cover that also because I think it's important. And then lastly, compounding your profit. That was one of the advanced tutorials that I was going to cover, but I do want to touch on it tonight. I kind of want to expand on what I had talked about in previous videos because this is one that kind of keeps getting brought up again. People really want me to talk about it. So I would definitely get to that. That's definitely a part that you do not want to miss. So I'm going to get into fees because I think fees are really important to talk about and understand, because when you're dealing with trading bots, you're doing so many transactions and you want to make sure that you take advantage of any potential edge that's available to you. If you can save even a few percent changing the way that you use your trading bots, it will make a tremendous difference in the long run. So I feel like, fees is kind of one of those things that people don't discuss often enough. So I really want to dive into it in this video. And this is going to be the reason why I'm comparing Binance to FTX essentially. And you'll see later in the video as we go along why this is so important. But to give you a brief overview, so this is Binance US, okay? So I'm going to start off with the US friends, okay? Everybody who's in the US, United States citizen, I got to use, using Binance US. For FTX, you would use FTX US because, these are the platforms that are made for the United States people out there, okay? So, and then after that, I'm going to go to the Binance versus FTX.com, right? So like those 2 platforms head to head and explain to you kind of the difference there. And as usual, when you're outside of the States, things tend to look a lot better. So that's a little unfortunate for people who live in America, but it is what it is. And, we don't get all of the really cool perks that some of the other exchanges do. Now, there obviously is a way to access those exchanges. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but you can probably figure out. Starts with a V, has a P in the middle of it, and has an N at the end of it. Anyway, so not that I'm condoning that or anything, but there's a way to access these other exchanges. But for these purposes, I want to keep it, I want to keep the US section, and then the rest of the, everybody else who's lucky enough to use those exchanges, keep those together. But anyway, So this is Binance US. This is the fees. This is the fee structure. It's very important that you understand this. So if you have less than $50,000 volume, okay, so you can see right here kind of where my mouse is, or you have, you have anything more than 0 BNB. So this is the fees that you would pay normally, which is 0.1%. Okay, and that's kind of standard. Now, I mean, like I would say standard. It's actually, this is considerably better than something like Coinbase Pro, Coinbase, some of the other platforms out there for sure. Like this, like this is better than quite a few other places. Now, if you're on Binance US, if you pay in BNB, meaning if you hold the BNB token, okay, which is like Binance's native token for their ecosystem, if you hold BNB and you're willing to spend it to essentially pay your trading fees in BNB versus in, however else, if it's in USDT, if that's the pair that you're trading, whatever, you can actually save 25% just by doing that. So that's a big deal. And I definitely recommend doing that. And with the trading bots, again, I've said this before, but when you're calculating, when the bot calculates your profit at the end of the deal, if you paid in BNB, the bot actually doesn't calculate the 25% savings. So when you're closing your deals and you're looking at your profit, it's actually even better than what you see, again, because the bot doesn't calculate the 25% savings. So that's really important. Now, if you have, now you can see, and this is why it's highlighted, I'm VIP 1 tier, and I was VIP 2 tier, but I sold some of my BNB. But being a VIP 1 tier, you have to have greater than $50,000 in trading volume. And this is 30 days. So this is like a rolling 30-day period. So I'm above $50,000, and which honestly, I'm well above $50,000. But the fact is, so you have to have a greater than or equal to 50 BNB. So you have to have more than 50 BNB. Then if you meet those criteria, your maker and taker fees are 0.09%. So you get essentially a 10% savings just because you hold over 50 BNB. Okay. Now, again, if you use BNB to pay your fees, so this is without, so this column right here is without paying in BNB, which I don't, if you're going to be on Binance, I really don't recommend this. But if you're in VIP 1 tier and you move over here, you can see that it's 0.0675% as your maker and taker. So again, you get that 25% discount, which is nice. Now again, I'll get into this a little bit later, but you can see that you need BNB, you need to hold BNB in order to move up these tiers, right? So not only does your trading volume need to increase, but more importantly, your BNB, the amount of BNB that you hold, needs to increase as well. And right now, just for reference, BNB is $266. So you would look at this, right? So some of these tiers that you see, you'd have to multiply the amount of BNB that's required by $266, and that kind of gives you an idea, which I'll get to a little bit later. But so this is Binance US, just so you get a snapshot of how the fees are here. Now we're going to go take a look at FTX. But before we move on to FTX, just to recap about Binance US. So what are some of the good things about Binance US? So if you pay in BNB, you get the 25% off your trading fees. That's a pretty big deal. And if you hold enough BNB, it can lower your fees quite a bit. So as you've seen, right? So the more BNB you hold, the better it is for your trading fees. Now, the bad things is that first off, you have to buy BNB. And you can see, unless you got into BNB really early, which I got into BNB like really, quite a while ago, which is part of the reason why I actually took some profit a bit higher up. But one of the bad things is you have to buy BNB. And at this point, just to get VIP 1, the tier 1, it'll cost you $13,300 just to buy that 50 BNB that you need to get tier 1. So the thing about Binance in general, Binance US, is that they don't reward traders. They reward, essentially if you hold BNB, that's how you get your discount. So like the more BNB you hold, the less trading fees that you pay. Which in trading bots, again, we're traders, right? Like you want to be on a platform that rewards you for the volume of trades that you do, not necessarily like holding their ecosystem, like holding their token, like their ecosystem token, like something like BNB. So this is FTX US, and I was able to get their trading fees copy pasted onto my slide here. The other one wasn't, the resolution was really bad, so I wanted to use the actual website. But this is taken straight from FTX US. And you can see that their trading fees, they're pretty similar to Binance in a sense. So you have, you know, if you're the lowest tier trader, you're paying 0.10%. And that is the same as Binance, essentially without paying with BNB. Now, I do have a link in the description below, and if you use that link, you can get 5% off of your trading fee. So that automatically helps you. You don't need to hold anything, you know, like you don't, there's not a BNB that you need to hold specifically to get that discount. You just get 5% off. So really, again, at tier 1, the lowest tier, you're actually, if you use the link, you would pay 0.095%. So that's already better than Binance. If you didn't want to pay in BNB, again, using Binance US, FTX already has the leg up, right, in that aspect of it. And the thing that I like about it is you can see as you move down tiers, the less trading fees you pay. And that's just strictly based upon how much trading that you do, right? So for instance, and like, you know, you look at these trading volumes and it looks like a lot, 100K, you know, $100,000 in 30 days seems like a lot. When you're using trading bots, especially if you have a decent amount, you'd be surprised how much volume you're actually doing. So, and like, there's ways to track that, obviously, like, you know, on the exchange, on Binance US, if you go to your dashboard, it tells you what your, you know, what your 30-day trading volume is. And so again, like tier 3 here, if you trade over $500,000 in volume in 30 days, you're only paying 0.06%. So this is actually really good and very comparable to what, it's very comparable. If not, I think it's actually better than Binance US, and you only need to trade though. So that's the key. You don't need the $13,300 in BNB just to get these discounts, or even more, right? Like if you, as you move up the ladder, you need even more BNB. You're getting this, the benefit of getting the trading fee discounts just by the amount of volume that you're doing. So that is like the big difference that FTX has. And again, if you use the link that I provided, you get 5% off of your fee. So it's even less than what you see here. So again, the pros, you don't need BNB to save money on trading fees using FTX US. That's outstanding. And they reward traders, obviously, just for trading on their platform. Now, the cons, kind of the bad thing, is that lower volume accounts, so you're paying higher fees than if you use BNB on Binance US, if that makes sense, right? So again, if you're trading on Binance US and you're paying your fees in BNB, you get that 25% discount. If you're on FTX and if you're a small account, low volume trader, then technically you would be paying more on FTX slightly, right? But if you use the 5% link here, honestly, it cuts it down a decent amount. But again, you'd be very surprised once you get into trading bots and you start having a decent amount of bots running, you know, 10, 20 bots, 30 bots. I've seen some people have a lot more than that. But when you have that many bots running, it adds up pretty quickly. And so to kind of wrap up the US exchanges, so comparing the two US exchanges head to head, I would probably still give the edge to Binance US, just because I think like paying, you know, again, if you're paying with BNB, you get the 25%. You know, that's usually decent enough, and people aren't, you know, too bothered by having to buy a little bit of BNB to use for their exchange fees. But the big, as it currently sits, you know, obviously things can change drastically if FTX decides to list more altcoins, but Binance US definitely has the clear lead as far as the number of altcoins that are available to trade. So where FTX does come in though, is I think FTX is available in more states than Binance US. So for instance, I had somebody DM me this morning and they said that Binance US wasn't allowed in their state. So I referred them to FTX, had them check it out, and sure enough, like FTX was, you know, they were able to get on FTX. And also another thing, in these times where you have a record number of people trying to get into the crypto market, right? I know people on Binance US that have been waiting for their verification to be cleared for like a few weeks now. FTX, it literally took me, I'd say 5 minutes maybe to onboard fully. And that's to like go through all of the verification. And like I was able to link my bank account, make a deposit, start trading. Like it was, the onboarding process for FTX US is tremendously better than any of the other competition that I've really seen so far. So that's including Coinbase, that's including Binance US. So FTX US definitely has their stuff together in those terms. So if you're interested, like you want to get started right away, and also if you want to save 5%, definitely check out FTX US. And you know, I'm actually shifting some of my trading bots over there because I really want to test the platform out. But again, especially if you live in a jurisdiction where you can't use some of the other exchanges, this is definitely, you know, a very good option for you to use. So now we get into the fun part. So again, when you live outside of the US, things get a lot more interesting, and there's a lot more going on than I think a lot of people realize, which makes it obviously, you know, interesting or advantageous to want to try to get on these exchanges, because again, there's a lot more cool stuff that they're able to do, to be honest. And so for Binance.com, okay, so this is not Binance US. Binance US is like a subsidiary of Binance. Like supposedly it's its own thing, but that's basically a, you know, in kind of a nice way, it's a watered down version of Binance, because for, you know, it's kind of how it is in the US. People know, like they like to keep things as safe as possible, right? So anyway, Binance.com, here is the difference in trading, what it, you know, as far as your trading fees go. So VIP level 0. So your trading volume is less than 50 Bitcoin, or you hold any amount of BNB, right? Again, so this is like, you know, you're using BNB to pay your fees. It's the same thing as Binance US. You have your 0.1% not using BNB. And then if you use BNB to pay your trading fees, it's 0.075. So it's the same standard one that you see. Now, here's kind of the difference, right? So just to get to VIP 1, okay, you need to trade at least 50 Bitcoin in volume in 30 days. And that is a significant amount of money for most people, okay? So you need to trade at least 50 Bitcoin in trading volume, like the Bitcoin equivalent, right? And you need at least 50 BNB in your account just to get this little discount here, okay? Just to get this little discount. So that is not very, I would say, again, I would argue that Binance is a place that I would say they reward the BNB holders more than they do the traders. But for Binance.com, obviously, like this is geared towards people who are trading large sums of money. So not a whole lot of, you know, they're like, when you look at this and you actually break it down, there's other places, which I'll get into shortly, that I think are much, much more rewarding to be on than something like Binance. But with Binance, it's like the king exchange, right? Like they have so many altcoins. There's really a lot of other stuff on the Binance platform that you can use. I'm not going to get into that in this video because I want to keep it strictly trading bots. But, you know, as far as the fees goes, they could do a much better job, in my opinion. So again, Binance.com, right? The pros. So BNB, same old stuff. It gets you the 25% off your trading fees. And the nice thing about Binance.com, though, is if you use the link in the description below, you get an additional 10% off of your fee. So that's really nice. And that's pretty major, honestly. So again, the link that I provide in the description below, you can get 10% off of your fees there. The cons, or some stuff that's not great, is that, again, your VIP tier 1, so you need you to trade more than 50 Bitcoin volume in a 30-day period. That's almost $3 million. So for, you know, if you have a decent amount of capital, like, I mean, a large amount of capital and you're using, you know, you have quite a few bots going, the size, as far as, you know, the size of your base orders, safety orders are large, you know, you could hit $3 million, you know, like you can do it. But the problem with that though is you're trading $3 million a month on your bots. Let's say you still have to buy BNB. So I actually didn't, and this is, I actually didn't update this. So this is actually wrong. So the other slide was correct, but it's current value is $13,300. So you need to trade $3 million just about, and you need $13,300 in BNB just to get VIP 1. And like that, the rewards wasn't that great. So obviously if you have the extra 10% off from my link, it helps out a lot. But Binance itself, they don't do a great job as far as like rewarding people for trading on their platform, in my opinion. So here's where things get pretty crazy, honestly. So this is FTX.com's trading fees. So you remember Binance, we just went over it, right? Binance, it was 0.1% for the maker fees for zero volume, for like the lowest volume, right? With FTX, you're already starting with 0.02, which I'm going to actually go back a slide just to show you what you would need on Binance to get 0.02 fees, and you will be pretty surprised. So down here at VIP tier 9 on Binance, VIP tier 9, what do you see? 0.02. So FTX, as their base fee for any trader on the FTX platform, you already get VIP 9. That is incredible. So in that, like, as far as when you're talking trading fees again for your trading bots, the fact that you're paying that much less fees adds up drastically at the end of the day for your trading bots. That's that much more profit that you're keeping for yourself, right? And again, look at what you have to do on Binance just to get what FTX gives away to every customer, right? So on Binance.com, you have to trade 150,000 Bitcoin in volume, and you have to hold 11,000 BNB or more just to get the 0.02. Like, that is incredible. And on FTX, everybody gets that just for being on the platform. So that makes a very big difference. So again, back to FTX.com. You're starting out with 0.02%. And that's actually not even true, because again, if you use the link in the description below, you get another 5% off on top of that. So that's a big deal. And then now, obviously, like some of the, you know, the amounts get bigger, right? So 2 million in trading volume, 5 million trading volume. Then you see the reductions that you get. Like, and also for taker fees, ignore that, which I forgot to say in the previous slide, but ignore the taker fees because you shouldn't be using market entries. So that's what they mean by taker fees. It's when you use market entries or market exits. When you're using trading bots, you really, again, part of the game is limiting the amount of fees that you pay because you have so many transactions, right? Limiting the amount of fees that you pay is very important. So you should always be using limit orders. And when you use limit orders, you're a market maker, so you pay maker fees. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. And that's why maker fees are usually almost always cheaper. They should be, because you're helping to provide liquidity for the exchange. So that you should get a reward of some sort for that. So, and as you can see, we get to some of these crazy amounts and you end up paying 0 trading fees, which is pretty crazy. But the exciting part's actually coming up here very shortly. So this is insane. Honestly, like this, I wish I had noticed this a while ago, to be honest with you, because this is a really big deal. So FTX.com, if you stake FTT, which is basically their version of BNB, okay? So the FTT token to FTX is the BNB token to Binance. It's the same thing. Now, if you have 0 FTT staked, okay, then obviously you don't get any bonus for doing that. right? Makes sense. Now, if you stake just 25 right here, if you stake 25 FTT, you get this, which you get, that's your override. You are trading for free at that point. So if you have FTT, if you have 25 FTT tokens staked on FTX.com, you pay no trading fees. So think about that for a second. You would be on a platform, right? And this is your maker fee. So this is this is your maker fee. So you have to use using the limit orders, but you pay no fees. That's very powerful. Okay. And it's very cost effective. So again, in Binance, for you to even get to zero, Binance US is the same thing. For you to get to where you're trading, when you're using limit orders and you're trading for free, you have to do millions of dollars, like 10 million in volume, and you have to hold like a lot of BNB in order to get that, right? But on FTX, all you need is 25 FTT tokens staked on their platform, which is very easy to do. Now, current FTT price, I did the math for you. So this could change. It could change now from the time that I upload the video. Things change all the time. But currently, when I'm shooting this video, FTT is $39. So 25 FTT is about $1,000. Okay, it's $975 current market price. So if you held that and you staked it on FTX.com, you pay no trading fees. You can run your bots, and this is where the game gets interesting, because so again, from my settings in previous videos that I use 1.5% as my take profit, right? If you think about it, if you're not paying any fees and you're just literally trading for free, okay? If you're not paying fees on your trades, you could really play with your take profit. I mean, you could set it lower. You could set it at 1%. You could set it at 0.5% even, because when you set your take profits lower, you can get in and out of deals easier, because the market doesn't need, price doesn't need to move as much to take you out of your trade and profit. And if you're trading with no fees, you can really scalp. You could really set the bar lower than you essentially would when you want to make sure that you're making enough to make the trade worthwhile, right? But anyway, just something to think about. And then obviously 150 FTT, if you had that staked, which is, it's almost $6,000. And, for a lot of people, that's probably a lot. But again, what's insane about FTX is that if you own 150 FTT, look at this. They pay you to trade. You actually get paid for every single order that fills. And you think about the trading bots, how many orders you are cranking out day after day after day after day. You are literally getting paid from FTX to trade on their exchange. That is very powerful stuff. And so again, FTX.com, what's the pros? The fees, honestly, clear-cut advantage over Binance. It's not even close. And especially when you get paid to trade. And, if you're staking the FTT tokens like I talked about, you either get your fees, you're either zeroed out and you're not paying any trading fees if you use limit orders, which you should be doing. Or if you stake 150 FTT tokens or more, then you're actually getting paid every single trade you make. I think that's incredible. And you could trade stocks. So stocks is, some people I know would be interested in that. And, FTX has quite the list of stocks that you can trade. I mean, I know that Tesla's on there. I actually was setting up a Tesla bot earlier to trade Tesla on 3 commas. So you can do that. That is a thing. And then, they have GameStop, Netflix, Amazon, all kinds of different stocks. They're tokenized stocks. So it's not like the same thing as trading on, TD Ameritrade or something like that. But again, they're tokenized stocks. You can still trade them though, which is incredible. And then, so some of the things that aren't as good though is there's less altcoins than on Binance. Like FTX doesn't have as broad of a selection. Now I would imagine like that will change over time, knowing FTX. But again, it depends on your kind of what your goals are, right? Like, are you do you want to be trading altcoins? Are you trying to build up your portfolio that way? Or do are you trying to build it up in USDT or dollars? Then maybe you don't care as much, but again, there's less of a selection than Binance for sure. But again, stocks, Binance doesn't have stocks. I think that's really cool. And then another thing is the alts, they're not as divisible as Binance. And what I mean by that is there's not as many decimal places, which can kind of I don't want to say it messes with it. It just makes it a little different, a little difficult sometimes. When your trade closes, it can look like, when you have the instance come up of it, there's a negative value, right? So if you take profit in your base pair, so let's say you're running a Chainlink bot and your Chainlink bot closes a deal, but you're taking profit in Link, right? You'll see a lot of times a negative value up top that says like -7 cents. And then it'll tell you your plus link, whatever link that you gained from that trade, and then your net, in USD, it'll tell you plus, I made 70 cents or whatever on that trade. When you have things that aren't as divisible, there's less decimal points, or there's less decimal places, you could run into situations that it might look like you're not making as much money. It might look like the fees are a little higher, but in reality, as long as you do the math and you make sure that it works out, should be good to go. It's just, I could see potentially burning through a little bit more of the dollars, like the USD on your account. So you might want to look into running at least a bot or two that takes profit in USD to make sure that it doesn't run through your account, if that makes sense. So if you made it to this point in the video, good work, by the way. I had said that the smaller accounts pay attention, right? So if you made it here, nice work. But the reason why I said that was because FTX, when you use FTX US or FTX.com on 3 commas, the minimum amounts that you can trade with are actually smaller. So if you remember this slide from video 4, the previous video that I just did a couple days ago, right? This was one of the methods that I had talked about where, you could set your bots up, I had different kind of risk tolerance levels, right, for people. And this is one of the slides. Now, the base order, it depends on which altcoin you're trading, or really which asset you're trading on FTX. But some of the base orders that I looked at are really small. So when I set up a bot for, I want to say it was for Link. I think I set up a Link bot. The base order on FTX. So let me back up a little bit. The base order on Binance US or Binance is $10, right? So you can see this is the minimum that you can do to run a trading bot, and your safety orders all have to be at least $10 or more, right? So I talk about how that, you look at the size of the bots when they get, if you have a lot of safety orders fill, it can run up a pretty decent sized tab, right? Especially if you have a smaller account. Now, for FTX, the base order is a lot less, which is really cool. So if you have a smaller account, so let's say you're only running, $2,000 or $1,000 even, you could use FTX, and your base order on some of the pairs that I saw were as low as $3. So think about that. You could literally use a trading bot. Now, again, you have to take into consideration making sure that you're able to, pay the 3 commas monthly subscription fee and whatnot, right? But again, if you just want to test things out and you don't have a ton of capital that you want to sink into this, using FTX as your exchange is really pretty valuable, especially if you use FTX.com that's outside of the US, right? The trading fees are significantly lower. I already talked about all that. But that coupled with your base orders on 3 commas, they can be a lot smaller. That could be a really big advantage for smaller accounts to get started. and you could actually do more bots, if that makes sense, right? So some of the base orders I saw, and I didn't go through every single one, but I know, and it was the same for FTX US and for FTX.com. But I know I have bots running right now. I just did 2 test bots, and Link was, I think the base limit, the base order for Link was like $3. So that's already, you know, a third smaller than any of the Binance minimums. And then for the safety order, it's the same thing, right? It's $3. Uniswap, which is one that I actually run a bot on, and I set one up for FTX as well just to test it out. But Uniswap was like $1.96 or something like that. So pretty crazy. Like you could actually trade smaller amounts on FTX using 3 commas as well. So for you smaller accounts out there, I would definitely take a look at FTX. And again, if you use the link in the description below, you save 5% off of your trading fees as well, which is a big deal. So I definitely wanted to bring that up. But again, this is from the previous video. I just wanted to show you though, the safety orders using FTX for some things are actually, you know, for some assets are a lot smaller than Binance. Now there was one, I think, I don't remember exactly which one, but it was actually larger. The minimum was like $14 or something. So there is fluctuation, but again, overall, if you're a smaller account, definitely, you know, I would definitely take a look at FTX because it can help you maybe get started a little easier. So now I'm going to get into Smart Trade on 3 commas. I have had a few people ask me, like, how do you use Smart Trade? Like, what would you use Smart Trade for? Well, let me show you some of the cool stuff that you can do with it. So here we are on my 3 commas platform. For those of you who have been following all of my videos, again, you can kind of take a look and see where I'm at. I'm happy, like, again, I don't really hide anything. You can look at the profit that I made for today. It's, you know, the past few days have been a little slower. You know, we've talked about this in the group. I think Bitcoin is really, like, the altcoins are waiting to kind of figure out what's going to happen with Bitcoin. So the market's been a little bit slower, which is totally fine, happens all the time. And then you can see my total profit here, you know, it's $53,552. So that's, you know, that's well past the $50 or $50,000 update that I did last, I think it was 2 videos ago. But Smart Trade. So this right here, Smart Trade, Convert, and also Smart Trade up here. How can you use that to your advantage when you're dealing with trading bots? Now, I will say there are only really a few instances that I can think of where you actually would want to do that. Like, or you actually want to use Smart Trade. Typically, you want to let your bots do their thing, right? So when you set them, forget them. Like, that's kind of how I look at, you know, as far as my particular settings go. Obviously, not everybody copies my settings, you know, like exactly, which is totally fine. Like, please do your own settings, see what you like best. Like, there's millions of different variations that you can do. Like, I encourage everybody to test it out. But for me, I don't really like to mess with these things. Like, I don't like to mess with my bots. I like, you know, there could be times, again, I shared a couple videos ago where CKB, literally the one we're staring at and we're about to use as an example here, is it sat in a trade, it was a few weeks or something. Like, it just sat there underwater for a few weeks and then it popped back up and it took my profit, took me out of my trade and started again. And like you can see, it's at the very top of my listing here. So that's the last bot that's been, you know, there's obviously must be moving a little bit now, but it's the bot that most recently gave me profit, right? So again, I don't like to mess with things very much, but if you need to, here's an example of where you might want to use Smart Trade Convert. So let's say, hypothetically, that CKB filled like 20 safety orders, right? So like, you like this would say 20 over here, whatever, like a lot of whatever the amount of safety orders for you that you would think is a lot, right? And it's been sitting, you know, it's been one of those that's been sitting for 5 days or a week or maybe even 2 weeks, and you really need to get your capital back, or you want to make sure, I don't want to lose any money on this. I got to get my capital back. That way, like, I can make sure that the rest of my bots are fine. So in that instance, right? Let's say that CKB gets in the profit. Like, this is the example. So it's almost, you know, I'll refresh it because I've been talking for a bit. So now it's 1.07% in profit. And you're thinking, okay, I'm finally in profit. I do not want to lose this money because, you know, if the market turns again, you know, and I've seen this happen plenty of times where it will actually reverse on you. And then you have to wait another period of time for it to actually take you out of your trade. So you say you don't want to wait. I want my money back. Here's how you do it. So you literally click on Smart Trade Convert. It's going to ask you, so the current deal will be canceled. So essentially your trading bot will be canceled and you're going to take the exact same parameters, okay, that you're seeing right here. You can see where your entry is. I'm sorry, your entry is right here and your take profit is right here. You are literally going to make the exact same parameters as you would have had you left the bot alone. But you can change it if you want, and I'll show you. So let me refresh this, make sure I don't get, okay, good. So I better hurry up. So I click on Smart Trade Convert. Here, you can choose to stop the bot if you want. Now, and when you click this, it's gonna turn green, okay? So that means you're gonna stop the bot. You don't want the bot to continue. Now, since my CKB bot is doing great, I don't wanna mess with it, but for this, I will do it for you. But so I'm gonna actually leave this off, and what'll happen is it will take this particular deal right here, move it over to the Smart Trade tab, which is right here, okay, if you follow my mouse, and then the CKB bot will start again from zero. So that's what'll happen. It'll literally open a new deal. It's just gonna take the existing deal and move it over to Smart Trade. But again, let me make sure this doesn't close. Okay, again, I better hurry up. So, but if I wanted to stop the bot, no more deals, I just wanna get rid of this deal, get it over with, and I want the bot to stop, you would check this box, okay? But I'm not going to do that. So you hit confirm. Now what's going to happen is it's going to take you over to the Smart Trade tab automatically. So the deal got converted to a smart sell. Please review the details. So you click OK, and it automatically populates for you, okay? You had 914 CKB in that bot deal. You bought it at this price. So this is right here. Your total is $14. So this is all that I had. It was one order, right? Or whatever. All right, only my base order had filled. And then my limit order automatically populates because that's the settings that I use for the bot. So it will pre-populate everything for you exactly as your bot left it. So your limit order is 16431. That's where your take profit was. And there is no stop loss because I don't use stop losses. And people have asked me that. And very briefly, I will go over why I don't use stop losses. So if you've asked me that question, I'm answering it for you right now. When you're using 30 safety orders, okay, and my safety order deviation is 2%, right? So 30 times 2 is 60. So the way that my bots work is as long as the market doesn't go down 60% without a bounce, my bot should in theory take me out of the trade. Okay, it should hit a take profit at some point. That's what it would take it would take the asset dropping 60% in a straight line to fill all of my safety orders in order to get me fully maxed out. And you know, like that's what it would take. And you can see here, this sucks because CKB, I mean, it doesn't suck, it's great. It actually finished the deal. So before I could finish this example, so I'm gonna have to do a different example for you. Well, this is a good thing, obviously. But anyway, back to the stop losses. So if that's the case, 30 safety orders, 2% safety order deviation, I want you to think about where you would put your stop loss. So just think about that. Where would you put a stop loss? What makes sense? So is it 20%? Well, then why do you use 30 safety orders? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that? Like, there's no point of having a stop loss. And like, now this isn't normal trading. Okay. So the way that I have my trading bot set up, it's not normal trading. I would never do this in an actual trade now because I don't want to sit in front of a computer and dollar cost average, you know, manually like that. But for trading bot purposes, if you're using this particular style that I use, which again, you're more than welcome not to, you can do whatever you want, but where would you put a stop loss? And if you have a good answer for that, please let me know. I would be really interested to see what people think. But again, if you're using 30 safety orders, I don't know where you're going to put your stop loss, because if your stop loss hits, you've lost a ton of money, right? Like that's not what I would want to do. So, and I've covered that in, I think, the first video, definitely the first 2 videos. I touched on stop loss, but like, and why I use the specific parameters that I use. But that just, people have asked me since then. So that's kind of that's my response. So again, we actually cashed out of this deal. Now I need to go back to my deals and just click OK. So it took too long to explain that one, but I thought it was really important to do so. Well, look at CKB again. So let's say I'll just use this one because I don't want to mess with band. So this one is basically right. It got another entry, and band is above CKB because this just took profit out of my last deal. So that's really good. So let's use CKB again. I'll hurry up this time. So smart trade confirm. I don't want to stop the bot. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to convert this existing deal that you're seeing right here to a smart trade. And then it's going to start a brand new bot for me again, because I want to keep it running. So again, populates 900 CKB. This is how much your bot paid, or how much CKB was purchased. Here's the price you bought it at, and here's the total that you spent right here. Okay. Your limit order already populates. So all you would have to do if you want to keep it like this is click Save Changes. But let's say for that example that you don't want to lose your money though, right? Like you had all the 20 safety orders filled and you're like, oh my God, I need to get my money back. I need to get it back so that the rest of my bots can use it. You would set a stop loss. And so let's say, what's your entry, right? Because you don't want to lose any money. So 0.016412, that's kind of lengthy, but let's try to get it close. And you can see here, this changed to 0. That means you would exit at break even. Now, when you are using a stop loss though, I would probably use the market order, because you want to for sure get out of that trade and be done with it, right? That's the whole point. So you click save. So once you select market order, you click save, and watch down here, smart sell successfully updated. Now, if you look at this deal, so this was the CKB bot that I brought over to Smart Trade. You're up 0.5%. Okay. Your stop loss, it's this red line, the letters SL, stop loss, is exactly where your entry is. And now you're allowing your bot to do one of 2 things. It's either going to hit your stop loss and take you out of your trade and you're going to get your money back, right? Whatever, you might minus your fees, minus, maybe you have a tiny bit of slippage, whatever it is. And slippage is just like maybe when you use a market order, you could lose a little bit of money, but you're definitely not going to, unlikely going to lose anything crazy like you would have been had you left your bot alone. Or it's going to hit your take profit, which is hopefully what happens, right? So you end up winning the trade anyway. So that is how you use Smart Trade to convert your So again, this is for your trading bots, right? So you can convert it over to Smart Trade, lock in your parameters here, and that way you can get your, you can make sure that you secure your capital. That's kind of how you do it. Obviously, if you went back to the My Deals, if you went back to your bot, another thing that you could have done, which I don't really recommend, but people can still do. So again, so CKB, another deal. But let's say, again, it was in the positive, or you got back to close to entry and you don't care. One thing that you can do is close at market price. So if you click on this, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to close the deal at market price? And we'll tell you what your profit is. So hopefully this is green when you do it, right? But it tells you it's going to cancel the bot deal, close or cancel any unfilled orders, and close the position at market price. So whatever the market price is, but it will show you what your potential profit, or loss will be. And you can either hit confirm or go back. So I'm not going to do that, but that's another option. Instead of using Smart Trade Convert to set your parameters, you can just close it at market price right here, right now. And, it depends, however you want to do that, but that is an option. So this is not trading bot related. But I do want to cover it for you again, since, you know, if you have a 3 subscription and you do other trading, I will do this really quick, just in case. Hopefully it helps you out. You click on Smart Trade, so you can go back to the Smart Trade tab, and this is where it takes you to do your bot conversion, right? You can see our CKB bot is still here. And again, it's either going to hit its stop loss or it's going to hit its take profit, one way or the other. But one thing that you can do is if you scroll up to the top, okay, you can pick an exchange. So let's say I wanted to go to Binance US, okay? You can actually create a trade from Smart Trade, and like, it's pretty awesome. So you don't even need to be on the exchange. So you don't, like, let's say, okay, I'm on 3 checking my bots, and you're like, oh man, I want to buy some Ethereum, or I want to buy some Engine Coin, or whatever it is. You don't even need to leave the platform to do so. So I'll show you again. You highlight the exchange on this box that you want, okay? So you, whatever exchange you want to use, your market. So we'll use USD in this example, okay? But there's other, you know, you can use, if you want to trade a Bitcoin pair, you can trade a Bitcoin pair, but we're going to use USD. And let's pick something. So let's buy more, what do I want to buy? Let's buy more Solana. Right there. So let's buy some Solana. All right. So you can literally create a trade from 3 commas. So let's say you wanted to do a market entry, okay, which I'm not going to do. But you can, and what this market entry does is, as soon as you click create trade, it will market by however much money you want. I'm going to switch just to limit. So let's say that I wanted to buy 100 Solana. Okay, so I'm going to buy 100 Solana, and I think price is coming down. I'm just using this as an example. So let's say I think price is going to come down to $13. And it tells you right here, the bid and the ask. So this is the current price that you could sell your, if you had to market sell, you know, this is the price that you would get essentially. Or if you wanted to market buy, this is the price you would have to pay. So you can see 100 Solana at $13 is $1,300. So that's how that works out. Now you can literally click create trade right here, and it will just create an order in the books for you to, and we can just do that. Just click create and hit confirm, because we're not putting in a stop loss or a take profit. You just hit confirm. And just like that, you can see here Solana, Binance US, position. I want to buy 100 Solana, $1,300 is the cost. And current price is $14.15. And I have to wait, you know, I'm basically an order sitting in the books waiting for my order to fill. Now, one thing you can do is actually go to edit, and you can set your take profit. So you can create an entire trade just by using 3 commas. So let's do that real fast. So let's say that I'm going to use a limit order. If my $13 entry fills, you can automatically set your take profit. So let's say that I want to buy at $13 and I'm going to sell at $15, let's just say. And it tells you if you were to sell at $15 from your $13 entry, it's a 15.38% gain. You click on split targets, and you can actually create multiple take profits. So let's say you wanted to take 50% of your profit at $15. You click add TP profit, and look at that. So you're going to sell 50% of your entry here. I'm sorry, or of your 100 Solana. You're going to sell 50% of that at $15. So that'll be your first take profit. And then let's say, you know, I think it's going to go to $17 possibly. So then the other 50% I want to sell there too. And you can add more take profits if you want, but I'm just going to use 2. And then you can also set your stop loss. So I'll do all this in advance before the trade even fills, okay? Click on stop loss, and let's say I want to be out of my trade at $12.50. So if it fills my $13 order, right? So I'm going to buy Solana at $13. My take profits are here, $15 and $17. Now my stop loss, so if Solana drops to $12.50, I want out of the trade, okay? And I would lose 3.8%. So if this is acceptable to you, like this setup, you click on Save Changes. And you could have done this in the first step, by the way, all together, but I just chose to do them separately for you. And look at this. It sets up the trade for you in advance. So again, price is $14.16. You haven't filled your order yet. It's sitting here at $13, but you have literally created an entire trade setup from 3 without having to go to your exchange. So I wanted to show that to you while I was here. So that the smart trade, that was kind of an unplanned bonus. So hopefully you got something out of that. But again, like 3 is a really powerful platform. It's not just for trading bots. You know, obviously you could literally trade from 3 You know, you don't even have to log into your exchange. That's the beauty of it, honestly. And it's very easy to use. That smart trade function, I actually do use quite often, like in the last example that I showed you. So not really my trading bot related, but to create trades on exchanges if I don't want to go in and have to log in manually and, you know, to the exchange and go to, you know, I can literally trade from any exchange that I have my API connection to, all from 3 And the nice thing is when I'm checking my trading bots, which I do quite frequently, like if I'm checking my bots just to kind of see how they're doing, I can check my smart trades from there as well because it keeps all of the trades on 3 So it's a really nice hub, honestly. It's a great trading hub. So now to the last part of the video, compounding your profits. So the power of staking. This is something that is so underrated and a lot of people don't talk enough about. Definitely, I haven't heard of anybody talking about trading bots and then using your profits to stake. So I mean, I don't think I've heard anybody talk about that. But this part is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna do the easy stuff first, okay? The least complicated stuff, and then I'll talk about the other. So this stuff, cake. This is and you can see the APR. This is what I was talking about. Like it's pretty crazy that you can do that. But on Binance US, to keep it simple, okay? And on Binance has this as well. But I'm going to use these 3 because this is from Binance US. So, and also FTX doesn't have this. So that is kind of another thing that Binance has a leg up on FTX. I mean, FTX does have some staking. If you go through, like there are some things that you can stake, but honestly, Binance makes it really easy. So this is directly from Binance US. And you can kind of take a hint on, you know, whether or not I have trading bots on these or not. But let's say that you have algo in your wallet, okay? So let's say you're running a trading bot and you're taking your profit in algo, not dollars, right? So you're accruing more crypto. At the point where your algo holdings gets above 2, you can see right here, the minimum holdings is 2 algo, which I mean, algo I think is like $1 right now. So it wouldn't take very long at all to get more than 2 algo. The minute that you have more than 2 algo in your wallet, right? So as your bots are running and your profits are being, you know, and your trades are closing and you're getting the profit builds up naturally in your wallet already. You don't even have to touch it. You don't have to transfer it. You don't have to move it. It literally just sits there. So let's say you're running an algo bot, and an algo, I mean as the crypto algo, okay? So let's say you're running an algo bot, you're taking profit in algo. Once you get above the threshold of 2 algo, automatically now you start to earn 8 to 10% return. So you think of it like interest in a savings account, okay? And your bots are trading, hopefully they're trading well, and they just keep putting algo into your wallet over time, right? That's the goal. So compounding your profit though is really like, this is pretty awesome because not a lot of other crypto does this. Like a lot of them, you don't get staking rewards for holding in your wallet. So if you have an algo bot or an XTZ bot, which is Tezos or Atom, okay? If you're running those bots and you're taking profit in Atom, Algo, or XTZ, all you have to do is just let your bot do its job. Okay, as your bot is profiting and kicking back crypto into those, Algo, into your Algo wallet, you're literally earning 8 to 10% interest on that balance. So that is incredibly powerful. So not only are you profiting in crypto, like you're profiting from your trading bots, but now you're getting paid interest on top of your bot's profit. So that is pretty amazing. And this is like very easy to do. All you have to do is let your Algo sit in the wallet. You don't have to touch it. And every month you'll see that you'll get a transaction. It'll come through and you'll get a payment, right? So you'll get whatever interest that you've accrued for the month automatically paid into your wallet. And then obviously, like, as that happens, it compounds, right? And then like the next month will be even larger. And again, as your bot is running, it will hopefully have more profits. And like it has like a snowball effect, right? Like you can grow your holdings pretty nicely just by using this particular strategy. Now, a real extreme version of this is what's on the left over here. So Cake. Cake is the token from PancakeSwap, okay? And I know it's a funny name, but that's what it's called. So Cake is the token from PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap it's almost identical to Uniswap. So if you've heard of Uniswap before on Ethereum, PancakeSwap is the same thing on Binance Smart Chain. Okay, so Binance on Binance.com, you can trade Cake. So I have a Cake bot set up that takes profit in Cake, and as I trade, as my bot trades and keeps taking profit, I will transfer my Cake to Binance Smart Chain, okay, and I will stake it in PancakeSwap. So I'm not gonna go into like, this is its own video, honestly, like this is its own, and there's a lot of good tutorials out there. So if you want to learn more about how PancakeSwap works, like for you to be able to do this, there's a lot of honestly good tutorials on there. I can do one if somebody requests, if somebody or a few people really want me to do it, I'm happy to do it. But the point is, you can take your crypto that you're earning through your bots and you can move that into this pool. Okay, so this is like a staking pool where you can stake your Cake tokens, and this is your APR. So not only is your bot profiting, hopefully, right? Like hopefully that's the goal, but not only is your bot making you profits, but you're able to take something like Cake. And there are other examples of this, but like this is like a really good example that I like, honestly, I don't think anybody's thought about, like anybody's really talking about it. But you can take this and make, your APR is 126%. So you're making that much more Cake. Like that's pretty crazy. And obviously, like, you can continue compounding it. Obviously, like when you're making that kind of a return, like it speeds up the process quite a bit. But it's definitely, as far as this kind of strategy for a trading bot, this is like an extreme version of like trying to like accelerate your return, right? But again, this takes a bit of technical know-how, and that's really, I think, why the APR is the way that it is, because this isn't one of those like super, there's enough people that know about it, obviously, that use it, but it's not like the average person doesn't even know this exists, and like this is kind of one of those things, if you just do a little bit of research and you build up just a little bit of technical know-how. And like I said, there's a lot of really good tutorials out there on how to do this, like how to use PancakeSwap or how to use Binance Smart Chain and get that set up. So like it just takes a little bit of know-how, but it's well worth the time. That's the point. And then you can also do, this is another example, okay? You can actually become a liquidity provider. So I'm not going to get into like the crazy details, but let's say that you, instead of crypto or instead of, Cake or Algo or XTZ, you don't care about that, right? All you care about is making more dollars. Okay, so let's say you're trading in USDT. That's Tether. It's essentially it's, you know, it's a peg to a dollar. So you could actually pool these two stable coins together, which are both pegged at a dollar. You can put them into a pool and earn 14% APR. So you tell me what bank out there right now is giving you 14.2% interest on your cash? None. I guarantee there's no bank out there that's giving you 14.2% on your cash. Okay. So let's say hypothetically that you generated $1,000 in USDT profits, right? So you're trading the USDT pairs through your trading bots. You can actually, like, either you can put that back into your bots to, you know, you reinvest in your bots essentially, and you can grow them that way. Or let's say you're happy with the size of your trading account and you just want to look for a way to, you know, maybe make more, you know, maybe put something aside. This is an option that you could do. So you could actually put in, you know, and the thing is about liquidity providing is you have to put in equal amounts of both pairs. So you have, and BUSD, all that is it's the Binance dollar essentially. So it's the same concept as what USDT is, but it's Binance's version. So it's Binance USD. And you could trade in and out of this on Binance very easily. So like if you wanted to convert some of your USDT into BUSD, you could do that on Binance. Very easy. But again, you could put this in a pool, and there's lots of tutorials out there. And again, if you want to tag me or ask me how to do it, I can kind of briefly walk you through it. It takes a little bit of technical know-how though. But again, like it's just another way to put your profits to work for you that you can, you know, and like, again, I think your bots hopefully can outperform this. So I don't know who would actually want to do this, but let's say you had a decent amount of cash and you wanted to put it somewhere for the short term or something and earn a nice return on, this wouldn't be a bad option. So that's kind of like the lengthy, you know, explanation of compounding your profits, I guess. And like, I think that again, if you can be smart about what you trade as far as your trading bots goes, you can really amplify your returns. And that's definitely something I think people should consider. Like if you can make profits, and you've seen from my results, like I've done pretty well with them. Like if you can keep those, you know, if you're trading algo, XTZ, that kind of stuff, and it's earning profits and you're getting interest paid on top of that every month, like that's pretty big time. So that's definitely something that I would look into if you haven't already. And so for the advanced trading bot tutorials coming soon, the next thing that I'm going to do is right here. I've been getting a lot of DMs about this actually, is the integrating TradingView, the custom signals. So coming, you know, being able to create your own custom signal on TradingView and integrating that with 3 commas to come up with your own signals. So that's one thing that I will cover. Likely my next video. I'm also going to cover how to create short bots. It's very easy, but there's a different, there's, again, you can use any settings that you want, but there's definitely a different way that I would create short bots. You know, I wouldn't use the exact same settings as I do for my long bots. And then grid bots, this is if people, you know, I'm going to kind of gauge. There's some bots where I could cover, but they're not, like, I don't use them very frequently at all. So like if people want me to cover it, I'm happy to cover it. But if not, then I might skip it. Trailing stops is one that I've been asked quite a bit. I will be doing that because I think it's important to understand kind of different scenarios when you would want to use those. And then composite bots, I've been getting a lot of questions about that. I actually started 3 composite bots just so I had live examples to show you when it does come to that video. So I did that for you guys. Even though, to be honest with you, I'm not like a big fan of composite bots, but I will do it anyway just so you guys can see. And then probably my last trading bot tutorial is going to be leverage. This is like, I would say, do your own research, man. You got to have some trading skill to really use leverage, because this is something that I think people don't exactly use wisely. You know, leverage is an incredibly powerful tool if you use it appropriately. And that's one thing that I honestly think the majority of people who trade don't. but that's just my opinion. But I've seen, you know, when people use high amounts of leverage, sometimes you get lucky and you hit a, and you get a really nice trade and you make a lot of money. But I'd say more often than not, you're probably going to lose money over time. Now, if you're putting in strict, you know, if you're setting up a trading bot and it has strict parameters, then hey, like that's kind of a, I don't want to say a safer way, but that makes a little bit of sense. Makes more sense to use it in that method if you have a strict, you know, if you're not manually doing it and you have a strict way of trying to do it, then I think that's fine. But I will show you how to do the leverage trading bots. Anyway, let's go on to the last one. Again, this is my social media. This is where you can find me. Telegram community is growing really quickly. A lot of really good trading bot discussion there. So definitely come and check us out on Telegram. And there's a Discord in the link description below. Very active, rapidly growing. I just want to take a second to say thank you to everybody who has, you know, given me a lot of really good feedback. It's like, it makes me feel good, honestly. Like I love creating content for people if they find value in it. But I just appreciate everybody watching this stuff. And, you know, I look forward to doing, you know, at least a couple more trading bot videos. This one was kind of, you know, it really was like kind of a random bot video in a sense. Like there was kind of some different topics being discussed, but they're all really important. And I really hope that you got out of the whole fees discussion why that is so critical to being successful and using trading bots, because like fees can make or break your bots a lot of times. And if you have an opportunity to trade on a platform that is, you know, not going to charge you, you know, like if you have certain, you know, if you have the FTT tokens, for example, like if you have an opportunity to trade on an exchange where you could trade for free or even get paid to trade on there, definitely interesting. Like I think that's a big leg up that a lot of people don't like, that aren't taking advantage of, to be honest. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Hit me up in Telegram, hit me up in Discord. Happy to talk to you. Trade safe out there. Have a good night.